Hi, in this video, we will be seeing organization of the computer system. Introduction. A computer system is usually defined as a combination of hardware and software. Computer hardware is a physical equipment. Software is a collection of programs that make the hardware do its job. Each of the hardware and software components have gone refinements and modifications depending upon the limitations encountered by the users and the endeavors to overcome these limitations to meet new requirements and challenges. Let us therefore understand the computer from two perspectives, namely the general functions of its components and the evolution these components have undergone. Input devices. It provides means for the machine to communicate with its internal or external environment by accepting or reading data and the program. It converts the data based on the program into computer acceptable form through an input interface. It supplies the converted instructions and data to the computer system for further processing. The very scope of computers is enough to understand that there is no limit to the form and type of data that serves as an input. Sometimes the input is in the form of text in normal language, sometimes it is a picture, sometimes it is a voice input like a song. Selection of an appropriate input device will improve efficiency and keep human interaction minimal. Types of input devices: online or direct data entry devices. These devices are under the control of the CPU and communicate directly with the CPU, which is Central Processing Unit. That is, these are connected via cable to the CPU. This process of data entry may be time consuming and may have errors, but by using these devices, we can avoid having to capture data from paper. These are also known as interactive input devices (IID) and are classified as keyboard, locator devices, interface or PIC devices. Keyboard. The most common input device is the keyboard. The modern keyboard generally contains 104 keys, which is again depending upon company to company, and is called the usually QWERTY keyboard, but there are also other types of keyboards because of the sequence of keys in the top row, which are similar to those of a standard typewriter. A keyboard is used for a wide range of tasks, but is well known for its capability to enter data which is copied from the original paper documents, such as name and address details on a form. Keyboards are also used for typing letters, memos, reports and other documents using any word processing software. Locator devices. Locator devices are used to control the location or position of the cursor on the screen, and they allow us to provide the necessary input. Generally, locator devices are good for gross movement, but not for precision work. Mouse. It is a small handheld device used to indicate a position or movement on a computer's display screen by rolling it over the mouse pad or flat surface. There are different types of this device like physical, optical and laser mouse. Physical mouse works on the principle of the movement of a ball, whereas optical and laser mouse work on the basis of light signals, that is, they are having no mechanical movement beneath or inside the mouse. Trackball. It is a movable ball mounted on top of a stationary base which can be rotated manually using a finger, and it also has two buttons like a mouse for performing operations similar to mouse. Three-dimensional trackballs are available that allow the movement not only the traditional left or right and forward backward movement but also up and down as well. So on the left hand side of this page you will see a mouse, and towards the right of that mouse is a trackball. Coming to another device, which is a touchpad. It is a flat, touch sensitive rectangular surface performing similar options as a mouse or a trackball usually found in the laptop. Digitizing tablet. Digitizing tablet is an electronic plastic board on which specifying a location corresponds to a location on the computer screen. It is considered to be an absolute locator because it is very precise And when a stylus or pen is placed in a particular position, the same signals are produced each time over the screen. It is in this that it differs from the other locator devices. Digitizers are used by architects and engineers in computer-aided design (CAD) for designing buildings, cars, mechanical parts, robots, etc. Moreover, they are used in the Geographical Information Systems (GIS) for digitization of maps. Joystick. Joystick is a wired or wireless control device which is usually used for playing video games. These are relative locators in which the direction of the push determines the change of position and amount of deflection determines a change of speed. A joystick not only indicates two-dimensional positions by moving the ball rotationally, but also three-dimensional position where the third dimension is indicated by the rotation of the rod. Games software, flight emulators, etc. often use joystick as an input device. You can see the joystick picture has been put in this slide. Interface or pick devices. Pick devices are used to select an object on the screen. The object may be text or graphic. Examples of pick devices are light pens and touch screens. Light pens. The light pen is a pen-like light-sensitive device that feeds a narrow electrical pulse generated by a pointing device directed towards the screen. It is connected by a wire to the computer terminal that detects the signals from the screen. Light pens may be used in place of a mouse or a keyboard, particularly for menu-based applications where an option may be selected by pointing on it. They are used for computer-aided design and drawing purposes. Moreover, with the help of a light pen, engineers, architects, or fashion designers can draw and edit the designs directly on the screen. Though for editing a drawing, keyboard may be used to select colors, lines with varying thickness, cropping or enlarging the drawings. It is also used to read barcodes from products that are available in big departmental stores. Touch screens. Touch screens are monitors on which the user makes selections by touching the screen, rather than moving a cursor to the location with external locator devices. Touch screens are often used in situations where users are likely to have a low level of competence in using computer keyboards. Touchscreens are sometimes used in restaurants, building societies, and travel information systems. We come to now something known as source data entry devices. We have observed that in grocery stores, the person holding the counter merely waves the product over a laser scanner or barcode reader, which automatically enters the product code and retrieves the corresponding price of the product automatically. The earlier practice was to enter the code or product name by using a keyboard, which was a time-consuming process. This laser scanner or barcode reader comes under source data entry devices category, which increases the efficiency of a user. These devices help us in entering the data directly from the source without any human intervention. The devices used in this category are video digitizer, digital camera, scanning devices, voice input, remote control, magnetic stripe reader, sound sensor or microphone, and MIDI instrument, which is musical interface digital instrument. Storage devices. There are four types of storage devices: primary storage, secondary storage, tertiary storage, and offline storage. Primary storage, also known as main memory. Main memory is directly or indirectly connected to the central processing unit CPU. First type in it is called RAM, RAM. It is called random access memory because any of the data in RAM can be accessed just as fast as any of the other data. There are two types of RAM, DRAM and SRAM. DRAM is dynamic random access memory and SRAM is static random access memory. As you can see in the table, static RAM is faster than a dynamic RAM. Also, static RAM is more expensive than a dynamic RAM. Static RAM consumes more power as compared to a dynamic RAM. Static RAM does not need to be refreshed, whereas dynamic RAM needs to be refreshed thousands of times per second. We now come to something known as ROM. ROM is called read-only memory and is used as a computer begins to boot up, which is starting. Small programs called firmware are often stored in ROM chips on hardware devices like a BIOS chip. BIOS is basic input-output setup, and they contain instructions the computer can use in performing some of the most basic operations required to operate hardware devices. ROM memory cannot be easily or quickly overwritten or modified. Cache. Cache is a high-speed access area that can either be a reserved section of main memory or a storage device. Most computers today come with L3, L4 as well as L2, while older computers included only L1 cache. We now come to something known as secondary storage. Secondary storage is not directly accessible by the CPU. A computer usually uses its input-output channels to access secondary storage and transfers the desired data using intermediate area in primary storage, for example, a hard disk. The hard drive or hard disk drive is the main and usually largest data storage device in a computer. It can store anywhere from 160 GB to 2 TB and many times more than that. Hard disk speed is the speed at which content can be read and written on a hard disk. A hard disk unit comes with a set of rotation speed varying from 4500 to 7200 rotations per minute. This is in case of a typical hard disk, but there are also something known as a solid state drive. Disk access time is measured in milliseconds. We now come to something known as tertiary storage. Typically, it involves a robotic mechanism which will mount or insert and dismount removable mass storage media into a storage device. It is a comprehensive computer storage system that is usually very slow, so it is usually used to archive data that is not accessed frequently. This is primarily useful for extraordinarily large stores accessed without human operators. Examples are magnetic tape or optical disc. Magnetic tape, a magnetically coated strip of plastic on which data can be encoded. This tape is much less expensive than other storage mediums, but commonly a much slower solution that is commonly used for backup. Such tapes for computers are similar to tapes used to store music. Optical disc. Optical disc in any storage media that holds content in digital format and is read using a laser assembly and is considered as optical media. The most common types of optical media are Blu-ray disc, compact disc, digital versatile discs, also known as BDs, CDs and DVDs respectively. Offline storage, also known as disconnected storage. It is a computer data storage on a medium or a device that is not under the control of a processing unit. It must either be inserted or connected by a human operator before a computer can access it. Examples are floppy disk, zip diskette, USB flash drive, memory card. Floppy disk, a soft magnetic disk. Floppy disks are portable. Floppy disks are slower to access than hard disks and have less storage capacity, but they are much less expensive. These can store up to 1.44 MB of data. Two common sizes were 5/1/4 inch and 3.5 inch. USB flash drive, a small portable flash memory card that plugs into a computer's USB port and functions as a portable hard drive. Flash drives are available in sizes such as 256 MB, 512 MB, 1 GB, 5 GB, 16 GB and also available in TBs, terabytes. These are easy way to transfer and store information. Memory card. An electronic flash memory storage disk commonly used in consumer electronic devices such as digital cameras, MP3 players, mobile phones and other small portable devices. Memory cards are usually read by connecting the device containing the card to the computer or by using a USB card reader. Output devices. Monitor. Monitor is an output device that resembles the television screen and uses a CRT, cathode ray tube, to display information. This could also be a little dated because nowadays there are LEDs and different types of LEDs. Earlier there were TFTs, there were LCDs, right? So all these types were coming under monitor. The monitor is associated with the keyboard for manual input of characters and displays the information as it is keyed in. It is also displaying the program or application output. Like the television, monitors are also available in different sizes. LCD, liquid crystal display. LCD was introduced in 1970s and is now applied to display terminals also. Its advantages like low energy consumption, smaller and lighter, have paved its way for using in portable computers like laptops. Printer. Printers are used to produce paper, commonly known as hard copy, output. Based on the technology used, they can be classified as impact or non-impact printers. Impact printers use the typewriting printing mechanism wherein a hammer strikes the paper through a ribbon in order to produce output. Dot matrix and character printers fall under this category. Non-impact printers do not touch the paper while printing. They use chemical heat or electrical signals to etch the symbols on paper. Inkjet, deskjet, laser, thermal printers fall under this category of printers. When we talk about printers, we refer to two basic qualities associated with printers: resolution and speed. Print resolution is measured in terms of number of dots per inch, DPI. Print speed is measured in terms of number of characters printed in a unit of time and is represented as characters per second, CPS, lines per minute, LPM, or pages per minute, PPM. Plotter. Plotters are used to print graphical output on paper. It interprets computer commands and makes line drawings on paper using multicolored automated pens. It is capable of producing graphs, drawings, charts, maps, etc. Computer-aided engineering (CAE) applications like CAD (computer-aided design) and CAM (computer-aided manufacturing) are typical usage areas for plotters. With this, we come to the end of chapter. Thank you.